Hi, welcome to another edition of Newsline 360 here on TVC Channel 40 and TVC Plus.live. I'm Andre Hugh, your host. I want to welcome all our viewers watching online on TVC social media as well as TVC Plus.live and those watching on the TVC network. I am joined by a filmmaker and producer out of St. Martin who's doing big things. He just released, or rather a few months ago released, his groundbreaking film Chokehold, which has been taking the world by storm. Actually, I should say it's putting a chokehold on the movie industry all over the world. I'm talking of none other but Joel Ayuk, who is from Canny Films and Canny TV. He's here with us. He's our guest this week on Newsline 360. Joel, welcome to the program.
Thank you very much for inviting me.
Yes. All right. First of
Pleasure.
all, we have a lot to talk about in terms of your journey towards Chokehold. Chokehold came out in November of 2023. You had your premiere at the Caribbean Cinemas in St. Martin. First of all, it's been a year. How has the response been to Chokehold? Almost a year. How has the response been to Chokehold since its release?
Oh, it's been a little bit. I would say to me, it was a little bit shocking to experience all this feedback that we've had with the film because when you have an idea, you cannot really foresee the future, even though you can visualize the finished product. But the response has been really amazing worldwide. The feedback has been really good.
Right. Now, you made this film, it's shot entirely in St. Martin. You used local people involved in terms of making the film. You had some actors. Just walk us through the composition of this film in terms of the persons who worked on it, where they're from, and how it has benefited St. Martin.
Okay, yeah. The film actually came. The idea to make the film Chokehold. The first title was provocation. Before the title Chokehold. It came to me in 2020, just when COVID started, about 6 months during COVID, where there was a lot of domestic violence cases because now we were under lockdown and the victims were not able to, be treated by the justice system because of quarantine. Everyone has to be quarantined, including the justice system. So when I read in the news, I saw the numbers went up at 35%. And also locally, our justice system, as respect domestic violence, was very high. And prefect, which is like the governor, made a newspaper made communicated in a newspaper about the issues and asking the population to be able to slow down because of the justice system not able to process all these cases. So I have a foundation by the name of Constant and Never Ending Improvement, or Canny TV. So we decided that we're gonna use our skill set that we have in telling stories and able to educate the population through edutainment. As we say, Chokehold is an edutainment film. So, but the challenge is in the island of St. Martin, we don't have a film industry at that point. We don't have trained individuals. We have videographers, but not film professionals. So, what I did was I get online and start searching for, you know, people that are skilled in the field around the world. So we got crew members from Guadeloupe, from Martinique, from Jamaica, from Africa, from USA, and also Canada. This is after the script was written. So Chokehold is I would say I'll call it an international film. And the moral of that story is if there is a will, there is a way. So we got to produce the film here in St. Martin. We shot on both sides of the island, French and Dutch.
Now, you said, of course, that you did this during the time of COVID. It had to be very challenging because just as a layperson, most people have been locked away. Some people lost their jobs. The businesses were affected. And in the height of that, you were inspired to do this film. How challenging was it to do Chokehold?
We could not even go 1 kilometer down the road. So we end up, we staying in the house a very long period of time. So mentally, it was just very challenging being home with the family for so long. So I had to find something to do. So my therapy was working on the script for Chokehold. You know, after working on the script, now funding, which is a major part in filmmaking, you have to pay all these crew members. That was the challenging part. Coming up with an idea of making a local film with a budget of $1.5 million. It's something that people locally have not experienced. So it was very challenging convincing the authorities, the business owners to be able to help fund this film. So I was throwing water on Deck's back, so I had to put in my personal funds to be able to get the film started, hoping that they would see the vision and join me after. So that's what I did. And after 11 days of production, we ran out of money. And that's where the major challenge started. Now we have to you have to send all these people back home, and it costs money also to exit the island. So I was running left and right and knocking on doors, and no one was hearing me because they're accustomed of foreigners coming in and making movies, Americans and Europeans. So what is this idea that you have that is lofty on the same level? So it was very, very challenging in many aspects in production, getting equipments here because we didn't have no film equipments in St. Martin. So we have to rent them from different islands like Guadeloupe, Martinique, and US, and get them in with containers. You imagine at that point we had problems with transportation with containers. So we have to forecast everybody's schedule for about 2 weeks to 3 weeks ahead for the equipment to reach right on time without spending too much money in holding the equipment because we have to get the production on the way out. So these are all the challenges that we had to deal with technically, financially. And when it comes to post production, after the film was, was going to be edited, but before even speaking about the editing part of the film, one of the greatest challenge was raising the funds to pay the crew members that worked on the film. And luckily, the government of St. Martin, under the leadership of Daniel Gibbs, which is a former president of the collectivity of St. Martin, when he saw some clippings of the film, he was so amazed and impressed at the quality of what we did. He even asked, "Where did we shoot the film? If we shot the film in the U.S." Because of the level of the quality, not expecting a local film to have that professional, execution. So when he saw that, he decided to fund the project, to give some funds for the film. So those funds were able to assist us to go back into production to reshoot the second time, which was in May 2022. So we started November 2021, stopped, and then we got back in production May 2022. Yes. So after that, we also went into post production. It took us a year because we had to raise money for post production, about a year of post production, and the film was released in 2023. So it was all through the process. It's been a great challenge, you know, doing this. But what is good about it is that we have succeeded. You know, they say when you don't give up, you shall achieve your dreams. So that's the good part about it.
That's an amazing story. Well, we're going to take a break, Joel. When we come back, we're going to talk about the film itself, the story about the film, and of course, some of the actors and actresses that you have as part of this amazing project. You're watching Newsline 360 here on TVC Channel 40. I'm Andre Huey, your host. We're speaking with Joel Ayuk, a filmmaker in St. Martin. We'll be right back after these messages.
I love the camera because they're real. What you see is what you get. No hidden agenda, no tricks, just real, honest communication.
The SKN Newsline website now offers you more news. Log on to www.sknnewsline.com for local, regional, and international news. You can also watch the latest newscast and keep abreast with news in sports, all from sknnewsline.com. That's www.sknnewsline.com. News at your fingertips.
Good day to the beautiful people of St. Kitts and Nevis. St. Martin News Desk now airs on
Monday, Tuesdays, and Thursdays on TVC.
at 11 a.m. and then again at 5 p.m. So,
Make sure to tune in.
Hi, I'm Andre Huey, and welcome back to Newsline 360. We're speaking movies, and more specifically, Chokehold, the movie that came out of St. Martin last year. It's the first full-length feature film of its kind to be produced in St. Martin, shot entirely in St. Martin. We're speaking with the filmmaker and the creator behind that movie, Joel Ayuk. And just before the break, you were speaking about the challenges you had filming this movie. Roughly, it took about, what, 12 months filming time, roughly?
Yes, about we shot in 2 years, 2 separate years. So I'll say um, about 2 months, 2 months
Mhm.
in
2 years,
production.
you mean? About 2 years, 2 years production.
Yes, sorry, 2 years production. Yeah, between 2000 2022.
21 to 2022. And of course, the movie came out in
Hmm.
2023. And we're going to talk about the successes of the film because the film has been going to various film festivals and have won numerous awards. But before we do that, talk to us about the story. Of course, we know it's about domestic violence, but just give us a little sneak peek into the story of Chokehold.
Yeah, the story is based out of real events. Individuals that I know. Some of them, my neighbors. Some of them, people in the community. Some of the ideas. Some of the characters in the film. From newspaper articles that events that happen locally. So it's based out of a real story. So I had to be able to craft something that is, of course, realistic, but at the same time entertaining. So the story is based out of two police officers that lived in a beautiful island of St. Martin, and one happened to have a very terrible past of abuse also. They say those who abuse others. So the film takes you through that process of this officer dealing with these issues that he has to deal with, and how it affects his family, how his wife also, the love of marriage, the love of sticking together, stuck with him through and dealing with all these challenges that she has to deal with. The good part about the story is not a story of doom. At the end of it, she became victorious, but it was too late because someone within the family was hurt. So it's a moral story to teach us as a community of support, and also that if we don't do things on time, most of the time leads to catastrophe. So it's a romantic, psychological thriller.
Yeah. And the actors you have that the cast is quite diverse. You have people from the Caribbean, you have people from North America, you have people from Africa that are part of this film. Walk us through the cast.
Yeah, when I was casting the film, what was important to me is the Caribbean film industry as a whole. As a filmmaker, I had to go into deep thoughts about what type of film I want to create. And when I got the film, I wrote the script, the story. I like to tell stories that have social impact, that create social impact to be able to educate our communities. Most of the times, we complain about community, oh, this, we need to do this, we need to change. But what are the tools that would be there? What are the educational tools that can be able to, open our minds and educate us? So, Chokehold is one of those films, one of those stories, and one of those products, right? So, when it comes to casting, I wanted a Pan African cast, which is people from African descent all over the world, including the Africans themselves. We know Nollywood is consumed by the Caribbean. This is the second place after Africa that Nollywood is most consumed. You go to a supermarket, you see, ladies looking at his phone, these comedies, these dramas. So as living in the Caribbean, we need to be able to grow our film industry. But I always believe from inside out, right? So what I did was in casting, I decided to cast top A-list actors from Nollywood in the film. because they have 200 million people in Nollywood that watch this film. That's why they are prominent. But in the Caribbean, we don't have the amount of people. So I also casted my lead actress is from Jamaica. She was on a project. You know, she's very well trained. Her name is Sharando Farrell. Studied in LA, taught in LA. You know, well known, a craft woman in her field. My lead actor is Aina McWay, which star in a series right now. You can check on Netflix. It's called King of Joburg, The Wedding Party 2, and many more films. And also Kenneth Okolie from Chicago, which was used to work in Nollywood, made over 100 movies, and now moved to Chicago, starring in American films. You know, Kenneth Okolie played in the film as well. You can watch some of his films like The Royal Hibiscus Hotel on Netflix. So these are A-list actors that we work with from the continent and also in Jamaica, in Caribbean. And then when we look at the American, I wanted the American African American community to also take part of this project, right? So I casted Brayley Evans. He has about 4 series right now on platforms like Oprah Winfrey Network, BET, Bounce, and all those major TV channels. So she played a sister of Sharando Farrell. So, and then we have local actors as well that also played here locally, and some new actors like Oremi Karim, which was very impactful in this project, even searching for funds after. So I wanted a Pan African cast, so a Caribbean production with African Americans and Africans, so that they can take us to these places where the film industry is prominent. So that is my belief as a producer, to produce films from the Caribbean by us for our people. That is the way I see it going. And Chokehold is that example of what it should be like. So we need to maximize this. This is my intention as well.
Yeah, amazing. And I remember when I was in St. Martin last year for the premiere, and we were doing radio tours, and as soon as your lead actor was on the streets of Marigot walking, everyone was just stopping him and like, "You're the African actor, you're the Nigerian actor." He's well known, So that really was
Exactly.
a good lift for the film.
And I want to thank you also for, SK Newsline was also there for the premiere. They did the media coverage of the film. I remember our working collaboration together. And when I thought about it, I said, no, SK Newsline, very professional in what they do, that they should be here in terms of leading the industry also. They should be one of the people that I can count on. So I remember flying you guys down here with your
Yes.
assistant to cover the press conference and the premiere. And I remember the beautiful uh, story that you guys told, about the film, about Chokehold, that the rest of the people in the world can watch it. I want
Yeah.
to say thank you for Andre.
Yeah, it was our pleasure. It was certainly, we looked forward to coming there, and we were happy that you invited us. So we were happy to be there. It's a historic moment. So
Yeah,
yes, thank you.
yeah,
Well, now that you've put together this wonderful cast, you've put together this wonderful film, you've gotten a lot of reviews, um, and I asked you at the start of the show what has been the reaction, but more specifically now I'm going to ask you the reaction of the authorities, more specifically on French St. Martin, where you're based and where the film was filmed. Some of it was filmed. Um, and of course, you got support through the French authorities there on the island. What has been their response now? What are they now saying about the potential of having a film industry on St. Martin, having seen what Chokehold has done?
yeah. You know, I always refer to Elon Musk. When Elon Musk said he's going to send a rocket to the moon, rocket to Mars, right? And he wants to build a rocket. A lot of people didn't believe them, including the engineers, the astronauts. They said he was talking, baloney. But today, Elon Musk has built a rocket, and everybody's like, okay, this guy said he was going to do something, he's doing it, so he's getting the support. So it's the same similar issue with Choco. When I was speaking about the film industry of what we can do, there was no reference. The only reference was Speed 2 that was shot 30 years ago in St. Martin.
Right.
So as time goes on, and as I, stick to my guns and make sure that this film is not only finished, but finished properly and the standard like what you see in Hollywood films. When we got to the premiere, the authorities, the vice presidents were there, the dignitaries of the island, both French and Dutch, and the after party. When the actors spoke about the experience that they had, minimum was 20 years experience that the least actor had on the set. And those who work on it, like my composer Enzo de la Rosa, which is Italian. I did not only work, just to go back to that technically, I did not only work with a Pan African crew, I also work with Europeans. Like my sound design and music composition was shot was done in Canada by a professor of film in film of music, Enzo de la Rosa. And then we have my sound design was done in Ireland, and the movie was edited in Hollywood. So we did not come in with just that local approach, knowing that we are deficient in certain skill set. No, I brought in the best of the best around the world to work with us on this project. So when the authorities saw the film, they were expecting to see a short film of maybe 10 minutes, as mostly is done on the island. But they saw a full finished film with original composition, local actors, international actors. So they were impressed by that. And the vice president, which is Alan Richardson, took the mic and made a vow that he is embarking on the film industry in St. Martin. That St. Martin is a place where we can do a film like Chokehold, then definitely we can do more projects and also invite other, you know, producers around the world to be there. He stick to his words. He's a man of his words. Today, we are working on a film commission in St. Martin. The government is working on that. I was privy with some meetings that went on. Even last week, they had a meeting with a prefect, which is like a governor, about the industry, about moving the industry forward. And I was asked by the governor to organize for them to see Choco. So St. Martin is becoming that place of filmmaking, of production, of many more films. The government is also setting aside a budget because it's very important. What I went through, I don't think I wish for anybody to go through that. It was very, very difficult. So they're putting a budget, they're working towards the film industry. They have a 4-year plan and they are sticking to their guns and they're moving forward to it. And I'm very happy that Choco was able to show them that example that we can do it from inside out.
All right, well, hold that point. We're going to talk more about that film commission a little bit in the next segment, the final segment of the show. You're watching Newsline 360 on TVC Channel 40. We're speaking with Joel Ayuk, filmmaker in St. Martin. We'll be right back.
I love the cable because they're real. What you see is what you get. No hidden agenda, no tricks, just real honest communication.
Good day to the beautiful people of St. Kitts and Nevis. St. Martin News Desk now airs on
Monday, Tuesdays, and Thursdays on TVC.
at 11 a.m. and then again at 5 p.m. So,
Make sure to tune in.
And we're here for the final segment of this edition of Newsline 360. I'm Andre Huey, your host. We're speaking the film industry in St. Martin. We're speaking to Joel Ayuk, who is a filmmaker who just completed the movie Chokehold, which has been doing wonders right across the world. Before the break, Joel, you spoke about the film commission and that Chokehold sort of paved the way for the development of this film commission in St. Martin. Give us a little insight as to what we can expect from this film commission. Does it mean that the government is now going to be supporting the creation of more films in St. Martin? Does it mean that it's going to facilitate or put things in place that films can actually be filmed from other filmmakers across the world in St. Martin? What exactly can we expect in a few years' time?
Yes, I, I don't want to jump the gun to say much, about what's happening because I would like to leave it for the government to communicate on that.
Right.
But what a film commission does is it's there to facilitate the production of more films by having budgets and having a film budget in place, and also capacity building and all these different things that have to do with creating more films and attract also foreign producers on the island and investors. So that's what the film commission does, and I believe that's a similar thing that our film commission in St. Martin is going to do.
Now, Chokehold has been highly successful. You've had the film featured or seen at film festivals around the world.
Yes.
Walk us through the film festivals that you've been at and how successful the awards that you've won as well.
Yes. So yeah, it's been successful. Like this is one of an award that we won is we just won this in Canada, best international film, Chokehold. So this we got in a festival in Canada called the Nollywood International Film Festival. No, it's called Canada Toronto International Nollywood
International
Film
Film Festival.
Festival,
Hmm.
which was you know an amazing opportunity to be able to within thousands of films that were screened for us from a little island like St. Martin. With just an idea that we had 3 years ago to be able to collect an award of these standards. It makes a lot of sense to where my mind as a producer is going with my next films. It encourages me to do more. We also have here. I also have here another award that this sort of that we won. This one we won in Cameroon. In Africa. So Choco has taken us in Africa. In Europe, in America. So we've won altogether about 12 awards worldwide. We've won best uh, composition. We have won best actor in Cameroon. We also won best actor. We have won so many different criteria. Even best screenplay. This is for best screenplay. That story that I had in mind to be able to win big best screenplay in Africa, where all these films are being done, and we come from the Caribbean and take this award among other filmmakers that are there. This for me is showing the future is really bright, for the Caribbean film industry.
Fantastic. Well, congratulations on those awards, and it goes to show the hard work pays off. That all the sacrifices you've
Exactly.
made are now beginning to bear fruit. So,
Yes,
finally, from
and
yeah,
what?
yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry. Yeah. Yeah. So what I was saying, what also I have in mind is not for me alone to have this success. My ambition and goal as a team, I have a team behind me, is for us to be able to extend our ideas and craftsmanship to other islands. We'd love to be able to maybe come to St. Kitts and do a similar thing and produce movies in St. Kitts and Nevis. Because we heard about this movie industry that the government is putting in place over there. This is one of actually our reference where we saw that. But my approach and the team's approach was let's do it. Let's tell Caribbean stories. Let's tell stories from us, from people that look like us. So this is what we are embarking on. We have a opportunity to create an economy out of this. I think there's about 40 something million people in the Caribbean, considering the Latin American countries that are on the coast of the Caribbean. So we can really build an economy here. If you look at Caribbean cinema, they're on 14 islands. These are multi-million dollar investments. These investments do generate millions. But when you look at the cinema, the American films, they are films that don't reflect us. They're stories that don't reflect our stories. So my ambition as a producer, or my goal, is for us to be able to tell stories that that can reflect us, and for these stories to be in platforms like Caribbean cinema, which we did in St. Martin. We had 7 screenings, and I'll be honest, in the 7 screenings that we did in St. Martin, we sold better than the American films. Which for me, the management came to me and said they did well, financially with our film, and they asked us when are you doing the next one. So imagine more producers like me in within the region. We produce more films. We can definitely create an economy that is sustainable for all of us, for those who in the creative field. This is a field that I think filmmaking is that is that second economy that's close to tourism, because you expose the island at the same time while telling stories. Like Chokehold, people, some of my crew members that work on Chokehold have visited the island twice, three, four, five times, but they didn't know about St. Martin. So I think as our governments within the Caribbean, I would advocate for them to really look into filmmaking. Maybe have some kind of Caribbean fund, where multiple islands put funds together and filmmakers can qualify and make movies and take it to the market. So this is what my ambition and goal is. Do more.
Right. Well, you actually answered the question I was going to ask, so thank you for that. And yes, we certainly wish you all the best in your efforts and endeavors because we would love to see the film industry in the Caribbean fully developed. So, very ambitious goal, but we wish you all the best on that. Thanks again for being on the show.
Yes, thank you also, Andre, for doing this interview. I was really looking forward to it.
Well, thanks again, Joel, and thank you, the viewers, for watching this edition of Newsline 360. Remember, you can watch this show again in its entirety by visiting our website, tvcplus.live, and clicking on TV shows. From all of us here at the TVC and the SK Newsline, I'm Andre Huey. Thank you again for watching Newsline 360.